Hello there and happy Wednesday. It may be the middle of the week, but I am starting in on a brand new set of cards, a set of 10, and I kind of have named these my virtual stamp camp because before COVID, we were all together creating fun projects. So for those of you that are new and joining into these sessions that I'm creating for you, I used to do 10 projects and I would do them in my home and do them 45 minutes away in Worthington, 45 minutes away in Fairmont, and meet up with all my great crafters in all those locations, and missing that. But I thought, what can I do to bring it here? So if you're new, that's why I call it my stamp camp, and it's virtual now until things improve. And every time I think, okay, maybe, maybe we'll be ready. And then like my husband gets sick, maybe we'll be ready. And there's a big increase in numbers, maybe here or in one of the other two locations. And so every time I think we're about ready, then I also have to remind myself that when we are together in a group, a lot of us have gathered in groups and everything, the stay is fine. But the difference is when we're stamping together, I make the projects ahead of time, bring everything, you get to make it, and everybody touches every single stamp, every single ink pad, every single accessory, every single card, every single piece of our stack of cardstock. That's a lot of touching. And I always kind of just laugh, but it's not funny. Like everything could be still fine until that one person sneezes or coughs, and then you can almost hear the silence of everybody going, yeah, who wants to touch that after she sneezed, you know? So that's why I'm kind of keeping it this way for now, but we will see what the future holds for that. So let me just see here if my iPad has this going yet. But meanwhile, hi Carol, hi Kay. There's a bunch of you on here, and Lisa again. So let me show you today's card that I'm going to make. It's a soft, kind of classier look for a Valentine than some of them that I've been making. So just bringing in some traditional colors, pinks, reds, purples, things like that. Hi Kay, thanks for sharing. And with that, there we go. I'm going to turn around my camera so that you can get a close-up of it too. So Carol, I hope this is something you like, because I know that you've had your eye on Valentine stuff. So here we go. Let me get my lighting better too. And so it says Valentine Greetings, which I do like that because it's very just generic, so that you could send these to many types of people without it sounding too mushy, too lovey-dovey and such like that. But I love these fun hearts in the pinks and reds and purples. And then I just coordinated some of the pink and purple to go with the matting choices for my card there. Thanks, Kay. And so I'm pulling in, like I said, the previous things that I've been doing here is from the Sweet Talk and kind of casual, kind of cutesy stuff, and I love that. By every means, I love that. And then when you flip the page in the mini catalog to page 11, that's where you see kind of the more classy. And the thing that pulls me into this is, with the classiness, the sentiments that go along with this. Anniversary is usually a little bit more classy, say, than cutesy. Same with wedding and things like that. And I'm always on the lookout for different sentiments for anniversary and congratulations, mainly because Stampin' Up! Doesn't always offer a lot of those. So as soon as I saw a lot of these things with anniversary mention, and happily ever after, happy wedding day, things like that, even a fun you're engaged sentiment, and a lot of these tie in together. So you see like this font, and then it matches with something for the outside that should go with the inside, and that's always kind of fun to see the font carry through from the front of the card to the middle of the card as well. Hey there, Wendy from Florida. So that is where that's coming from. So a nice big stamp set, cling stamp set, love and happiness with all those sentiments, and then it's bundled with a hybrid. And if you're like, what's a hybrid? So what comes with the hybrid in this bundle in the catalog is a 3D embossing folder, so you can see this, and I will be using it, so you'll be seeing it in action. So it has this nice little set out heart here as its focal point. So I'm going to set that aside because I'm using it. And then these are my dies that are falling off that I'm going to use as well from the Bouquet of Love dies. And so we've got these two, the heart and kind of the label there that I'm going to be running through. But this heart will then coordinate with this. So when you get the bundle, you get the stamp set, you get this embossing folder, and you get these dies. They all coordinate together. So that's what makes it hybrid, is when dies and embossing folder coordinate and go together, and you get them at the same time. Excuse me. So I will set that aside. And then the paper I'm using, you might go, okay, I need to know where those hearts are from. And so I'm not going to go into detail and show you all of the pieces of paper like I sometimes do, but it is part of that Sweet Talk Designer Series paper that I've been using quite a bit of. I just haven't used this pattern yet. And another thing that I want to point out, in the Sweet Talk, when it talks about different pinks and such, it mentions Blushing Bride and Petal Pink here on the back of this. And so that always helps me to know, okay, which one should I reach for, grab for, and such. But in the catalog, what I noticed here that kind of was confusing, and I like to point it out to help you guys, it says like Real Red and the Highland Heather that I've been using, it only mentions Petal Pink. So at first I was like, man, my Petal Pink's really clashing. It feels like Blushing Bride, especially today. Blushing Bride is a much better option. But then I'm noticing, you know, on the back, it does mention both Blushing Bride and Petal Pink. And then when I see some of these hearts, this is definitely Petal Pink. It's more that peachy pink color. And then we've got the Blushing Bride here. So definitely both are mentioned, and they just don't have both in the catalog. But anytime I have info that I can pass along and share with you guys, you're going to hear it if I remember. So here is my color combination then. Basic white, Highland Heather, and Blushing Bride to go with this paper here. And I think what I'm going to do is start by running through that hybrid embossing folder here. It's called Bouquet of Love Hybrid Embossing Folder, and it is 3D. So with that, I have my cut and emboss machine set up with plate number 1. Maybe I should move this around so you can see it. Plate number 1 here, and then the only other plate that we need for the 3D embossing folders is plate number 4. And what I'm going to do is just take some basic white. This is 3.75 by 5. And I kind of eyed this, and well, no, you guys know me, I usually eye things. This one I actually measured because I really wanted to make sure that my heart was centered as far as from side to side and straight. So I kind of got out my ruler ahead of time. And now I can eye it because I know it goes just barely over that line there to make it be centered on both sides. Sometimes, you guys know me, I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants, but this one I'm like, you know what? It looks like a really special card, and I really want it to look lined up and have a purpose. Okay, so when I run this through, you can tell with the deep, deep grooves, look at that, how just running that through, what it does for the basic white. That's a lot of detail and a lot of design. And then you have this nice heart shape there that I'm going to cut into, but if you didn't want to, it'd be gorgeous just like that, or to take some sponging or blending brushes and put some color on there too. But it's just so soft and pretty looking. It's wonderful. And then next I'm going to kind of load up my cutting machine with the basic layering, putting that shim back in and some cutting plates. And this is where I'm going to grab the heart from the hybrid part of the bundle, the dies, and then that's going to just kind of sit in there. I want to make sure the top and bottom line up and that that's centered. And then we're just going to run this through. Excuse me. Okay, so now we have a stitch look here, which I think is really fun, and a beautiful heart. So this heart, you know, so pretty. I'm just not doing anything with it. And so I'm just going to set that aside. And this is going to be what we're going to focus on. And who knows, maybe a different Stamp Camp project down the road, you'll see this, or even a couple months down the road, I might make a really pretty like anniversary or wedding card with that too, because I think that could be dressed up really in a fun way. And then I just have a little bit of stamping that I'm going to do for the outside of the card, and with that I'm going to use my Highland Heather ink and just like a little strip or scrap of basic white for that too. And that's where the Valentine Greetings is going to come in from the Love and Happiness stamp set. So I'll just stamp that across the middle of my my scrap here, Valentine Greetings in Highland Heather. And then I can bring this back, and then I'll be doing my last pass through with the cut and emboss machine, and then I can start assembling. So I'm just going to center that like so. That's why it's important to stamp first. This is a cling mount, so it's not see-through, so that's why I want to make sure I do my stamping first, just so I take away the challenge of trying to get that lined up in there. And then it's just such a nice little frame there for it, and the edges, hopefully the camera picks that up, they're kind of beveled, which is kind of neat. It makes it look a little bit more special when that happens too. So I'm going to move my dies out of the way and bring together my pieces here. All right, so before I get too far, I want to hide this piece of paper behind there. So I cut this piece of Sweet Talk Designer Series paper 3 inches by 4 inches. So the beauty of that, if you guys know me and my measurements, I love 3 by 4 because it divides into 12 evenly, so you'll get an even amount of sheets. Let's see, where's my cutting guide here to tell me, let's see, 3 by 4. I will get 12, yes, 12 of these, so I can make 12 of these cards with this pattern from one 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So that's kind of cool too. No scraps, no leftovers, and that's always exciting too, because then you don't have to wonder, where are we going to use that little strip or scrap on a next project? I should do a whole class on how to use up strips, because I always see things and I'm like, hey, that'd be a great use of those little extra pieces. All right, so I'm just putting adhesive, if you can see it, all the way around the back side of the heart here. And I'll just kind of line up my Designer Series paper with the lines here on my table, and then kind of center that like so. With the hearts going in rows, you'll notice if it's not put on there straight. So I want to make sure it is put on there straight. And so it just kind of takes up a chunk there. So there's still plenty of room there to play with. I don't like to have things too tight. So a nice 3 by 4 gives us a good area to work with there. And then I can go ahead and take this and tape that down to the Highland Heather piece. Okay. And the Highland Heather piece of cardstock, I've cut that 4 inches by 5 1/4. And before I put that on my Blushing Bride piece, I want to put some ribbon around this this layer here. And so for my ribbon, I've chosen Gorgeous Grape. So Gorgeous Grape here, and it's sheer ribbon. And so even though this is Highland Heather and such, the sheerness of it doesn't make it look too dark purple. Like Gorgeous Grape is the darker purple between Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. The two coordinate really well, but Gorgeous Grape definitely is a dark purple, like a Vikings, Minnesota Vikings purple, if you would want to say. And if I was using this ribbon with Gorgeous Grape, it'd look great. But what I love is the sheerness allows us to coordinate it with Highland Heather also, and it turns out really nice and soft for that. And I haven't used ribbon, I feel like, too much lately. I mean, here and there. So I thought, oh, let's pull in some soft ribbon to kind of complement the design here. So you can see where that just looks like it coordinates really well with that. And then this is ready to go on the Blushing Bride base, card base. So Just get a little bit there. And my card base is opening this way, so 5.5, 4 1/4 opening this way. And I'm going to put this on here then, like so. And then it's just a matter of getting the sentiments all together and my embellishments. So it might look like, man, there's a lot of, you know, fussy lining up or what, but it's really not so bad. So I want this to pop up just because that font, it's a long greeting, Valentine Greetings. And so with the font being smaller, I want to pop that up and give it some lift off of these hearts. So let me grab my dimensionals here, and I'll put about 3 of those on there, kind of 1 on each end and 1 in the middle, and then that will be good to go, like so. And you guys are kind of quiet today. I keep checking for questions or anything, but maybe you're just really intent on watching. Okay, so we have that popped up on there, and I like it just, you know, it's skinny enough where you still see a nice variety of the hearts still. And then for my embellishment, I thought, oh, you know what? I haven't used these for a while. Sometimes I feel like we ignore products from the annual catalog, and these are so perfect. These are the Pastel Pearls. They came out in last year's spring catalog. Kay says you're enthralled. That's great. And so with these being a carryover, I looked and I went, wow, these are some great purples and pinks to coordinate exactly with today's project. So what I'm going to do is just take your pick tool and take one of the darker purples here that's going to kind of represent the gorgeous grape a little bit, and then the lighter purple. These kind of just like fell off, so I'm going to pick them off from their spots so then they get used and won't get lost. So there's the lighter purple, and then we've got that nice pink here too, a nice soft pink. So I'm just going to kind of put 2 up here and 1 over here. And pearls are a little bit bigger, but what's nice about that is that with the sentiment being popped up, then the pearls don't sit much higher than that. I always kind of keep that in mind when I'm mailing things, so that there's like kind of cushion around embellishments. Not always does that work out perfect, but it does help to kind of, I think, coordinate the cushion for getting it through the mail system. Oh, thanks, Pam. You're so sweet. Just taking it all in. Now for the inside, I know when I started this card, I kind of said, you know, it can be a casual card, not too mushy and such. So for the inside greeting, you guys know me, I always want whoever's receiving my cards to be able to send them out. I want my cards to be so usable. So for my inside, I picked out a couple different sentiments from that Love and Happiness stamp set. This one says, to the one I love. So when I stamp that out and add that to this, now some of you might go, perfect, I have this for my significant other, that card's done. And some of you might be groaning like, well, that just took away my option to use that card. So I'm not going to be putting adhesive on and putting this in. In fact, I'm actually going to flip it over and get out my second greeting that says, Happy Valentine's Day, friend. So I'm going to ink that up in Highland Heather and just put that on the other side. So hopefully between these two sentiments here, and this one's kind of, you know, small too, Happy Valentine's Day, friend, and then to the one I love. So hopefully between these two, there's something that you're going to go, yep, this is perfect for what I need it for. So neither one of these sides are going to be glued down. So when you get the card, it'll be like this with the inside loose. Every once in a while I do that for you guys. And it's not that I forgot to put the glue in there. And so that will make it more versatile for you guys. And if you go, you know what, I don't even like either one of those, well, then you just take this out and put your own 4" by 5 1/4 insert in there with what you like. And it could even just be blank, and you can write it for grandkids or whatever too. Like I could almost do this for my grandkids because they know that I love them. I might have to say, to the 2 I love, or something like that. So that would be kind of fun. All right, so that is today's card number 1 already for my set of 10 January cards. So there's the outside and the inside for you guys. Okay, let me get this turned around. So how you can get in on my set of 10 cards this month is if you need to place an order, a minimum $75 order using my host code for this month, the special one that I have posted here. I'll also take a still shot of this card, all the other cards I'm making this month, and tie that host code in with the description of the card, as well as all of the, like that recipe, all the accessory supplies needed to make the card and such. So that will help you in ordering. If you don't need any supplies right now, even though now is a good time to order because it's celebration, so you get that extra free thing or two. But if you just want the set of cards, just let me know, and the set of 10 cards can be yours for $25, and it's that includes the shipping. If you're local, you get them from me delivered, and if you live further away, then I just pop them in the mail too. So either order to get them free or just let me know. So that's all I have for today, but I will be back tomorrow afternoon with card number 2. Thank you, Kay. And so you guys have a very good evening. Thank you, Lois, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.